All right. Welcome back to the Beyond Coaching Podcast. You got your co-hosts here, Max and Zach. Today's guest is Joey, who I can't pronounce your last name. I should have asked you how to say it first. Owner of Denver Barbell Club and Renegade Athletics and a top Denver real estate agent. He launched DBC from a 500 square foot space within CrossFit Lodo and grew it into a legit weightlifting and powerlifting hub with 5 weightlifting coaches and 4 powerlifting coaches. He later acquired and merged into a 15-year CrossFit gym, and his secret weapon, compartmentalized focus and systems that make a passion gym perform like a business. Today, we're going to dig into template versus custom programming, paid onboarding, travel calendars that don't bankrupt coaches, and why most gyms should charge more sooner. Joey, welcome to Beyond Coaching. And how do you pronounce your last name?
Smith. No, I'm just kidding. It's Hoisescu. And I got to say, dude, that shit is disappointing because like I'm Romanian. I mean, I'm also Italian, but it's like, dude, Romanians are like the weightlifters. Everybody knows I don't know, what's her name? I can't say her name.
Yeah, everybody knows her. What's her name, right?
Valentina, dude.
Wow.
Valentina.
Toma.
I can't say her name. Yeah, I mean, Toma too. Like the Tominator's different. But yeah, dude, like the Romanians are good weightlifters, the Romanian deadlift, and none of you people in the strength community can like even say this name. It's kind of weird, you know? It's whack.
Hoisescu.
Anyway, Hoisescu. It's not Polish, dude. Come on.
Hoisescu. Got it. Well, hey, so you moved to Denver and you saw no high level like weightlifting scene and you built one. What was the screw it, I'll build it moment?
I was so I'm from San Diego, right? And like the weather's beautiful. I'm in the back of CrossFit Omnia and they had like a spare room. It was really nice. It was sort of like a little mini training hall with like 4 or 5 individual platforms. It was cool. And I just, dude, it was middle of winter. It's probably, I don't know, 0. I mean, who gives a shit? It was fucking cold. And I grabbed a barbell and it was just like frigid. And I'm warming up and like, you know, I was broke when I came here. So I was like wearing like 3 layers of sweatshirts or some shit like that, and like a little cheap vest or something because I didn't have real winter clothes. And I was just like completely alone. I could see my breath and I'm trying to like warm up, you know, and I was supposed to hit like, I think it was like Russian squat cycle or something like that. So I was supposed to do like my, like, I don't know, Max knows all this stuff, but like the very last week before testing, you do like, I think two doubles at 90 or something. Nice. And I was just like, dude, I don't feel warm at all after half an hour. And I'm just like, all right, I'm freezing cold. I'm alone. My coach was still in San Diego, who was like a really good coach, Dave Miller. And I was like, this fucking sucks, dude. And I had pretty high expectations for, you guys said I can say the F word, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool word. Thanks. Just making sure. That's my vibe.
Which F word? Hold on.
Yeah. We'll pop off and you let me know if it's cool. No, but yeah, I was just kind of like, you know, when I moved out here, I knew like the OTC was in Colorado Springs, which was like an hour away. And I kind of figured Denver had like a scene because there were, you know, like Vardanian was down there. Jenny Arthur was down there. Yep. They had all these like Jared Fleming, I think was down there. I mean, maybe even Ian Wilson was down there. So we had all these badass weightlifters in the resident program there. And I thought maybe Denver would have something, but it was sort of just like this, wasn't like fractured, but it was like this community of people in different gyms just training the way I was. And I was like, I was aware of them just from like local meets. So I'm like looking around, just counting people. I'm like, dude, there's like 60 to 100 people competing in this local meet or like the LWC championship or whatever they call it. And I'm like, dude, I can probably get a space and get 10 people to pay the rent with me and just coach them like 3 days a week or something like that. That was it, man. And I was like, fuck it. I knew the guy from CrossFit Lodo, Ryan Anderson, great guy. I knew him and I was like, all right, I'm going to hit him up. He had a spare space inside his second location, which is in a neighborhood called Rhino. He had like these brand new road competition kilo plates, like bumper plates. And I was like, yo, bro, you're not using those. You're a CrossFit gym. What are you doing with that space? Long story short, that's where like the first Denver Barbell Club was at. So yeah, that's what it was, man.
Nice.
What was, you know, you've talked to me before about, you know, the big equipment investment during COVID. Take us through that stage.
Yeah, that was painful. Okay. So, you know, March 17th, 2020, governor shut down everything in Colorado for a minute. It was like 3 months, but yeah, before that I had ordered like a lot of equipment so the second DBC was 1,000 square feet. We moved into CrossFit Lodo's primary location, which was a huge shitty warehouse, but it was really cheap rent right downtown by Coors Field around what has to be 3,000 or 4,000. I mean, it was in downtown, dude. So like thousands of apartments and just this churn of people that was constant. So it was pretty, at least for the CrossFit side. And we had just taken over another 1,000 square feet of like Lodo's open gym area. And so we had to build that out. And, you know, we paid for this huge, like 16-foot wall to be built. So it divided our space from like the CrossFit space. We built new platforms. We got like new equipment. And I mean, we dropped, I remember like, I think let's call it late February, it dropped like a $40,000 or $50,000 order from Rogue. And like USACA, everything, racks, barbells, GHD machines, reverse hypers, plates, everything you could want to make it like into a world-class training facility. And we'll call it like a Chinese or like an Eastern Bloc world-class training facility, because some of us have like some real fancy shit out here. And so, yeah, so we closed down March 17th, and March 20th, the FedEx truck shows up and drops like 4 pallets, like I said, $40,000 or $50,000 worth of equipment that was brand new. And I just let it sit there, man, like wrapped in plastic. And yeah, I was just like, fuck it. I mean, worst case scenario, it's brand new. The price of all gym equipment was going up because the individuals were kind of getting into the market a lot. And I'm like, you know what, dude, I'm just going to let this shit sit. I don't know what's going to happen. Worst case scenario, if we have to shut the gym down because we can't reopen legally, then I'll just sell it all and probably make money on it. Yeah. So that was kind of my thought. But yeah, it sat there for 3 months until I found out we were going to reopen. And then, yeah, me and the gym manager, Lindsay, we just tore it all, we tore it out, we just unpackaged all of it and built it all up in like a week and had it all open, ready to go. That was
that was such a crazy time, because I remember, I mean, we're in California, and you were former California, like, and Max probably had it worse than me because he's in the Bay Area. In Orange County, it was more chill. But like, I remember driving home, Newsom, saying we're shutting down the world, me telling everyone we're going to close the gym. And then the next day, I just like, fuck it, we're not going to close the gym.
Yeah.
And we stayed open. And dude, like, I mean, my story was a little bit, we crushed it because we were the only gym open. And I had like 150 person waiting list at one point. Man, I thought I was so freaking cool. And I thought this was just what life's going to be like now.
Yeah.
Just, and so, but yeah, man, I mean, I just, the whole uncertainty aspect, I think people who aren't business owners will never understand the level of uncertainty that we had to deal with, the amount of stress. It was crippling. And like, one of the things I talk about, and I'm sure you agree, I think the best business owners have like really high stress tolerance. It's just like the amount of shit we're willing to deal with is just at this insane and high level that most people just can't deal with. And that was like an extreme point where that was like a make it or break it, I think, point for like a lot of people. You could have easily just quit. You could have easily just said, I'm good. And a lot of people did. But yeah, I mean, that was a crazy time.
I did get to the point. Oh, sorry, Max, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, do you, on the stress level, do you think it's a matter of like, because I'm sure you guys, the three of us can all relate, like, it's not even that we don't feel the stress, because I think we probably even feel it more than regular people, like than like a non-business owner. Like because I'm sure every one of you has been like asleep, like not even able to sleep for nights, because you're just worried about everything. And then like your mind goes to this catastrophic place. It's almost like you're able to sort of just like accept your fate, almost like, or not accept it, but like you accept the situation you're in. And then you're like, regardless of how I feel, I have to still get up and open the gym, turn the lights on, sell a client, do whatever. Like, cause I don't know if it's even like tolerance. It's just like, I guess that is tolerance, but you're just kind of like, yeah, my life just sucks. Like I'm on fire, but I got to keep going forward because there's possibility it's going to work if we get through this stage. Right.
Yeah, man.
It's crazy though, to imagine like you starting the gym with zero certainty. Like the 2-week lockdown for us in the Bay Area turned into, I mean, there's still people that drive around in cars with their masks on here. Like it's like a permanent thing. Like it was just like 2 weeks. At some point, starting the gym, it'd almost be like, okay, let's just sell it all and we'll come back to this later. The fact that you just kept it there is like what was going through your mind? Like, week 8, when you're like, there's still 4 more weeks before you actually open up. Like, what were you thinking? Just like, we'll just do nothing? Or
yeah, I mean, and yeah, well, okay. So I set like, boundary is such a hot word these days. So I set a boundary, man. I drew a line in the sand, and I was like, all right, the deal with my business partner at the time was that, we started the gym with like $500 a person, basically. That was our initial investment. So we're like, you know what, if we ever have to invest personal money to keep the gym afloat, send the email, sorry, everybody, it didn't work, we're done. Because you guys know how stressful the gym, I mean, they don't understand. Like, I love them. I love the community that we've built, but they just don't understand the stress that is associated with the gym. And the fact that in like, I'm happy to share this, in 10 years, I've made like maybe $4,500 total, because luckily with my job, I can like reinvest money into the gym. People have absolutely no fucking concept of that. So to answer your question after that tangent, yeah, man, I mean, I was like, look, we got within $300 of just shutting it down. 1 month we brought in like, let's call it $5,800. Our break even was 55. And had we gone to, $5,499, I set the boundary, man, I'm fucking shutting it down. So I was just like, we're going to wait. I'm going to keep in touch with the members and stuff like that. I'm going to consistently thank them for like paying $185 at the time, or 175, whatever it was. I'm going to thank them for sticking around, because a lot of people canceled, and I haven't forgotten any of the names that canceled, unless they lost their jobs, because I understand that. But yeah, it's like, and I'll never forget the people that kept their memberships alive when we were providing nothing, man. And I'm not, I'm not this super, I was never this highly qualified guy. Like, I'm not like where it's like I have this reputation. I didn't know how to like tailor weightlifting, powerlifting workouts to home gym people with fucking dumbbells. So we didn't do what the CrossFit gym people did, where they're like, I don't know, sprint up a fucking hill, take your shirt off, scream, throw up. I don't know. Whatever they were doing, we didn't do any of it, man. So yeah, I mean, I was just like sitting there fucking waiting. And I was like, well, and then I remember about 3 weeks before we reopened, because it was the same thing every week, the governor would come on, be like, another week, dude, another 3 days. Like, everybody, here's the numbers. Dude, I don't know what the fuck these numbers mean. I'm not a doctor, but I kind of said the same thing Zach did. I was just like, you know what, man, like, fuck it. If they're we're just gonna reopen, because we were also like tucked away in the back of a gym, another gym. I don't think Ryan was gonna reopen Lodo illegally. So, illegally. So I was just like, I felt pretty confident being in the back of that thing that no one was gonna find us. And then I was like, all right, dude, what's the worst case scenario? I'm operating with like a good margin again, and they're charging me, like, every time they find me, they're fining me $1,000. Like, I'll take that all fucking day.
Yeah.
That's just cost of doing business. But yeah, I just waited, man.
Yeah, I mean, I could go on a huge side tangent, so I won't. But what I'll say is this: what I've learned through like psychotherapy and stuff, that like a lot of entrepreneurs, one, they have a high locus of control, so we feel as though like we're never going to be a victim of circumstance. Like, we truly feel like we can control our life, and most people. I thought that was innate. I thought most people feel that way, and I've realized that they don't. And through time and experience. And the number two is we have a higher trait of optimism, and so we always lean on the side of optimism. And I'm actually, not to bog us down, but I'm reading A Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl right now, and he'll literally, he talks about this, and he'll like talk about some shit that's that was someone who was in the concentration camps during World War II, and he'll like talk about the shitty things of the day, and then we go to the showers, and we laugh because the showers blow cold water and it's not gas. And I'm like, oh my God. Right. Like, the amount of, again, the whole thing is without optimism, without a goal, man has nothing. And so I think a lot of us just, we're so goal oriented, which has its drawbacks too, but it kept us moving forward towards where we wanted to go. So, I mean, yeah, I'm a big believer in that type of stuff. And I think that's those people that had the higher trait optimism, high locus of control, made the decision. And I find that they swung hard and they won big during that time. As far as Denver Barbell, I've heard from you and from other people that it has such a great vibe. What have you done to create a culture like that?
I mean, honestly, man, like, to some extent, what you see is what you get. Like, in like elementary, high school, I got detention every day. I was a C student until I got to college, because I feel like I was smart enough to like see through the bullshit. And I was like, all right, dude, like, I'm going to go to Berkeley. I didn't, long story, it doesn't matter. But like, I'm going to go to Berkeley. I'm going to pay $3,000 a year. I'm going to work my way through college. None of this shit matters. Like, elementary school. Point is, like, I just had like a fuck you mentality, and like, I was like the fat kid in the back of class that also happened to be smart, and like, despite a terrible physique and probably metabolic disorder, and a shitty diet, it was like, I still was pretty good at sports, but I got made fun of for everything, dude. I was either like good at sports and they made fun of me, or I was too fat and they made fun of me. So I was just like, dude, fuck everybody. So then I got put into this world of like this niche sport where, you call it Olympic weightlifting, or like, Oli back then, or whatever, at least the CrossFitters were. And people are asking you, what's your bench press? And I'm like, okay, you just really don't get it. So I felt like I felt at home, and I just brought that vibe and like that energy and that attitude, like to DBC on a daily basis. Like, I was the only coach there for probably the first like 7 months, and we hired another guy. We had 3 days a week for an hour and a half at first, and then open gym the other 24 hours. And then eventually when we stepped it up, it's like I was focused on attracting the same kind of people. And honestly, the way I did it was like, the rules were very simple. They're posted on our door right now. It says house rules. Rule number 1, don't be a dick. Rule number 2, work hard. And I don't give a shit who you are, what you look like, what you want us to call you, who you think you're supposed to be in the future, how lost you are. That's what we built this gym for those people. If you come in and you work hard and you're nice to people, you can stay. If you're not, you can get the fuck out. And I have no problem. I've only had to kick out like one guy, but I was just like, that was always the attitude, man. So just authenticity is another buzzword, and I feel like there's a lot of disingenuous people that use it, so that's unfortunate. But I was just authentically me. And I think on the subject of just general entrepreneurship and the attitude towards it, I thought you know, when people say like the captain has to go down with the ship, dude, when you're a small business, you are the ship. Like, it's not separate, you're together. And so I just became like the ship that people put all their faith and belief in. And I always just hired people who, you know, coaches and stuff who were on the same page. And I think my attitude and I'm kind of like polarizing. So some people really hate me and some people really like me. And the people that hated me left. And the people that didn't hate me stayed. And we, you know, at some point, which I'm sure we'll get into about programming, at some point we had a pretty badass team. And like I had, you know, 2 or 3 64s in the A session in Detroit at nationals. And yeah, it's just, you know, it worked, man. And when Lindsay got hired 5 years ago, she was like, all right, dude. So like, how do we attract, like, how do we get like members? And I was like, we try and keep people out. And that like, we don't want you here unless you want to be here. And I make that abundantly clear to people. And especially when, you know, if they rarely talk about, you know, making money and this and that, I'm like, look, dude, I don't need this gym. I'm here because I want to be here. And if you don't want to be here, you can get out. And that's the attitude we've always had, man. And we also have fun. This is a little intense because we're talking business and, you know, I have like a pretty good level of focus and stuff. But yeah, in the gym, dude, we have a good time. We don't put up with shit, dude. Like we just don't put up with shit. If you're not going to work hard, get out. Like if you're doing 3 seconds on a 5-second tempo squat and we notice, we're going to count. The whole fucking gym is going to count loud and embarrass you. And if you don't like that, you can go. But we're also going to have a good time and kind of, you know, get a little twisted on weekends and stuff like that. So that was a big one, man. Making weightlifting fun.
Is it true they call Denver the Mile High City because everyone smokes pot all the time?
Dude, there's a lot of pot. Dude, people here, it's not my thing, but they fucking love drugs, dude. I mean, these people like professionals just go to Red Rocks. Okay, if people tell you they're going to Red Rocks, they're going to go get fucked up on everything they can get their hands on. I mean,
that's
it's
a
sad
concert
fucking
venue,
population.
right?
Yeah,
Red
dude,
Rocks,
it's dope. It used to be dope 10 years ago. It was $50 to see a show. You get right in, right out. Now it's it's just a mess, dude. But yeah, Denver is that's part of it. But you know, yeah.
Do you think that I've known a lot of gym owners over the years that have a similar philosophy? I knew a guy, you know, probably know John Bros, but the first day anybody would come into his gym, the first thing he would do is he would be like, I just try to fuck them up. I just try to get them to do the hardest workout they've ever done in their life and destroy them so that the next day they wake up, they're so fucking sore and so beat up and so wrecked. If they don't show up, I know they weren't the right person. And so he's just like, I can figure it out day one. If I just crush somebody and grind them up and they come back the next day and they want to train, I'm like, great, you can be on the team.
Yeah.
And like, he was not a money-making operation, but it's funny because it's like, there's probably a degree of that, like a balance between like keeping people out, but like maybe for their own good, where it's like, hey, this is a hardcore kind of place. This is about lifting. It's a team energy. And like people can appreciate the fact that you're not just like everybody on the team come in, like, you know, and we just do what you want. And like, I've had people come into my gym, for example, and they'll be like, you know, oh, I want to, you know, I saw the Chinese do this. I want to do a Chinese program, you know, and to a degree as a business owner, you're like, okay, sure. Let me just switch your membership. You can do it in the off hours. John Bros told me once someone came to him like, hey, I think I should do this, this, and this in my program differently. And he says, he's like, I told him, that's a great idea, man. Why don't you go to another fucking gym and do it? and so like, there's that energy of like a little bit of gatekeeping and pushing people out. Do you think that that actually is, you know, in proportion, not the John version, but like in proportion actually brings in the kind of client you're looking for? Like, it's a little bit more of like a, you know, you're, if you advertise, you know, pro bodybuilders, you're going to get people that want to bodybuild, right? So if you advertise a little bit of like, hey, this is a serious place, do you think that brought in the kind of membership you wanted and like maybe make it grew even more than you think?
I think so, man. And, you know, I think we trained seriously, but we have like a lot of fun doing it, dude. So early on, I mean, things have changed so much in the last like 5 years, dude, like macro counting and fucking all this crazy shit that people are doing. Bro, I used to literally open up a fucking IPA, stick it on the front of a Rogue squat rack and just say to the guy squatting, if you hit a PR, you can drink the beer. If not, I'm chugging it. Like just shit, you know, so like we kept it fun, but it's like the guy wanted the beer, dude. It's fucking, they're men and they're in Denver, you know?
No
and
matter
I think
how old he was, 10, 12, 15,
oh, dude,
matter.
the older they are, yeah, dude, the older they are, the more they were like, oh, I fucking love IPA, man. Me and Clint Eastwood hang out, you know, and drink IPA, you know? But yeah, man, I mean, we had fun like that, but I think it was very like, the training had to be serious, but we also had fun doing it, which I mean, I don't know if that's kind of how every place is. There's a lot of serious shit that I see around, man. And I just like, you know, on Instagram and stuff like that. And I'm like, God damn, dude, for people that aren't I mean, NFL players have more fun than weightlifters do. And they're making, like, what does Mahomes get paid? Like 50 million a year. And he's having a blast. And these weightlifters are paying us to coach them or making jack shit. And they're like so fucking serious about everything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, guys, like, it's sport. You're supposed to have fun. So we always demanded having fun. And really the biggest problems I had with people were the people that would like yell at their teammates. So I make everybody train together. I don't give a shit if you're like, I've trained one, like, I coached one like senior level lifter who was like an international competitor for Puerto Rico. She's great. So we've gone to like that level a little bit. But yeah, she trained with the people for a long time, like just the people that were in it because they want to be stronger, faster, and just enjoy the sport, you know? And so if anybody ever got crazy with the normal, like the people that are not like the recreational lifters, dude, I was protecting the pack on that one for sure. Like I was like, absolutely fucking not. That's not what we're doing here. So I think all of that just combined, man, like serious training in a fun environment is what got us to attract people, like the right people. And also, dude, I cannot go, like, I can't say this enough. Being a place where women feel safe in a lot of different ways was massive, massive. Because like, I don't know what it is, but like, they'll talk to their friends and be like, come in here, trust me. And then like the girlfriends come in and they're like, this shit's dope. Or Instagram was obviously huge, you know, and you didn't need a video crew back then to do it. It was just me talking shit. And like, you know, women would see other strong women lifting who were like architects, lawyers, just normal people with jobs, and just seeing them push weight. And they're like, oh shit, I can do that too. So I think that was a big deal. You know, that was a really big deal. And the women that have lifted, they've bar none been the most successful people the most successful population we've coached. It's not even close. The guys are coming back. They're kind of coming up now, but they also broke the egos of the men. I could see it like happening. Like the dudes would come in and be like, oh my God, that chick just snatched 85. I can snatch 60, you know? And they're like, they wouldn't come back sometimes. And I'm like, yeah, you're not who we want here. So the women have been like a huge, huge, huge part of our growth at the gym. I think all of our weightlifting coaches are women right now. And most of our CrossFit coaches are too. Most of our powerlifting coaches are too. So most of our coaches are women.
Yeah, that's interesting. Austin Barbell has the same thing where he said pretty much all of his coaches are women, which again has pros and then can have cons as well. For sure. But yeah, I've noticed like from like an athlete standpoint, you know, our best clients at my gym are typically the women. Women are more agreeable. They're going to listen to coach. They're not going to go one RM. I've never actually met a woman that hit a max off program. Ever. I've never, and it happens all the time with men, all the time. Especially
you probably never met a woman who got hurt going off program.
Yeah.
Either because they just don't.
Exactly. So
yeah, women are remarkable,
huge.
Dude. They're like, this is what I want to do. I don't fucking care what it's going to take. Tell me what to do and I'll go. And you're just like, okay, here's your program. Let's push. Here we go. You know, so yeah, that's been huge.
100%. You've talked about travel expenses, you know, so lifters might pay a coach $2,400 for the year, but then the coach has to spend $3,000 to go travel with them to a meet. Why is weightlifting so upside down?
Travel is expensive. That's obviously one. And I think people this goes to the whole, like, who really understands the business owner, because, you know, you have to do so many things. And one of them is to be like a CFO of your own company while also being the CEO and wanting to chase down these new ideas. So like, you know, when you're looking at it from an economic or like financial perspective, travel is only viable if you have multiple people going to a meet. So what you just mentioned was, I think, the math I told you when we first talked, where it's like, you know, let's say we charge $200 a month for unlimited. Okay. So let's say we have one lifter that's there a year for us. But we have to go to 2 meets for this one person. We just drop, we with stipends, travel, hotel, we get it to about $1,500 a trip it's usually me or a coach like Lindsay or somebody to go with him. And this is just domestic travel. This isn't even international. You know, that's $3,000 we just spent on this one person to go to these 2 meets. And they only gave us $2,400 a year. So we just lost $600 on them. Also, people don't understand that out of that $2,400, part of that money, when you consider incremental costs and like revenue and profit, we were supposed to make some money on that $2,400 to keep shit going. And we didn't do that. So, I mean, if you really look at it, the total value we lost was way more than the $600. And people like don't understand that. That's, I think, a huge reason why they're upside down. And when you have a gym that does like, I mean, I'm friends with Brittany Rucker from Bear. She's cool. And like, I think I heard, not from her, but from like around the grapevine, they have like 1,000 people on remote programming or some shit like that. Yeah, bro, like good, get it, girl, like get it. But it's like, that's 20 G's a month. And they're not doing anything other than what they're already doing, which is writing programming and deploying it via some app. right? So like, but people are paying them, let's just say 20. I don't know what it is for them, but that's 20 grand a month. So they're chilling, dude. They can hire video crews and all this shit. But the reality of the situation is like travel's a bitch, dude. It's really fucking expensive and it is really hard to control. But luckily we found a way to control it over the years for the most part.
Yeah. And break down that system for me, because I think you have a really good system in place for that.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
So basically November, Lindsay and I get together and we put together, so we look at the calendar, the competitive calendar, and we look at who competes in our club. And we just put together a travel calendar, and it's like, hey, these are the meets that you're guaranteed to have a coach at. Outside of those meets, you have to talk to whoever your preferable coach, your favorite coaches, hit them up and just say, hey man, I want you to come with me to this meet, but you guys have to organize that on your own. Like that's not us. And I mean, dude, we go to like, the Arnold, but then we'll skip AO2 because we know we usually have to go to nationals, and then we usually have to go to AO finals, and then we'll go to like local meets, whether they're kind of up north, our own, obviously, or then ones in the springs. And, sometimes that sucks for the lifter because like we don't go to the, is it WSO now? The LWC? Yeah. Okay. We don't go to the WSO championship because we're the biggest, I think, top 2 biggest geographical WSOs in the Mountain North. So like the first one they had was in Boise, dude. And like I'll drive to Boise because it's only 12 hours, but I mean, that's a serious commitment for our lifters if they're flying over the weekend. So we'll skip stuff like that, which kind of sucks, but that's just what we have to do to put our foot down. And I think that's been huge, dude. When, and sometimes people get mad at me, like when they don't follow the calendar and they're like, dude, I'm disappointed that like nobody was there. And I'm like, bro, it's right there, dude. Fucking, it's like literally it's everywhere. It's a Google calendar that you can just click on and it says what we're going to,
Do you feel like part of the problem with like the price point stuff, right? Like a good example, like $2,400 a year, and then you throw in travel costs, and let's say you go to one meet, and that's, granted there might be other lifters there, but that cost eventually eats into it. Let's say you're losing $400 or $500 on a single athlete over the years. So it's like effectively you're coaching people at like a really low rate. Do you think the reason why, like there's a couple plays you can make, which is high price, delivering really great service, delivering your thing, and maybe you can have some clients that way, but then that model, like you're saying, like Bear Barbell might have, where it's like there's no way anyone can deliver the same level of quality the lower the price point, because the amount of hours that go in just don't add up, right? Like no human being is coaching 250 people remotely alone.
It's
not
impossible.
It's not physically possible.
Yeah.
And so this question becomes like, do you think the problem is that new people come in, they don't know much about how it works, so they get like a very subpar product for $100, $125, $150, and like $150 for remote coaching is just not a feasible. It's like when Uber was being subsidized by VCs, and it's like, oh man, a ride's $3 from here to $3 to get from New York to Washington DC, right? Where reality is like, actually the price point for good remote coaching should be closer to like $500 a month to truly get the attention that someone's asking. Or you have somebody who's willing to do it for such a low price because they can cut the service short, not do as good a job. Do you think that creates a problem where the expectation is like, well, this club will coach me there because they have the market, they have the economy of scale. If they get 200 people in their club, they have all surplus money that they can then do things like, hey, we'll be at every meet. We coach you for free. So it almost becomes this problem of like, you're competing against a product you can't fight with, right? It's like if Walmart decided to do weightlifting coaching and they just hired people and lost money on it, or Amazon just lost money on it, coaching people for $12 a month. And it was great because coaching from Chinese coaches, like you just couldn't compete with the product. So do you feel like the market itself is what causes some of these problems for coaches, where it's like you having 30 people is impossible to fight against somebody who's got 250 or 300 and has helpers that their economy of scale now lets them undercut you, right? Do you think that's a big problem? Do you feel that problem a lot?
Dude, big time. And I think, maybe I misunderstood the question. Like when Zach asked like upside down, I was kind of focused really on just travel. But I mean, dude, like gyms are upside down because like we're no longer competing in our micro area. Like we're competing on a macro scale, which is, I think, exactly what you're talking about. So, this is ironic because you guys are from California and I'm in Denver. And I mean, you guys understand, especially in Orange County in the Bay, like you understand the cost of rent. And dude, like people don't fucking get it. Our rent for the 7,000 square foot facility is $19,000 a month. It's 67% of our gross profit. That you can't operate that way, dude. You just simply cannot operate that way.
19,000 for 7,000 square feet.
Yeah.
You'd probably get like 2,800 here.
Yeah. So it's even worse.
No, you get more than that, but
Right. But you guys, I don't know what you guys are charging, but I know like at least in the Bay, a lot of places are up to like mid 200s or something like that. I know they are in San Diego, and I'm sure they are in Orange County.
Yeah.
So like, bro, I can't touch that. Like if I go, we're at 199, and it's really because Lindsay put her foot down and was like, bro, I'm terrified to go to 20. That's probably a little hyperbolic, but she was like, I'm nervous to go to like even 200. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to be honest with you. We need to be at 225 because the reality is Denver all in is 20. I think all in, like our base rent right now is 24 a square foot per year. They talk about it not per month. They talk about it per year here. And so, and then we have CAM, which just goes up randomly. And every year they're like, oh, it's $2,000 more a month. You're like, yeah, dude, totally. It's like, that's fine.
I talked to a guy in Texas who told me that he has to pay property tax on the building he rents.
So do we. You don't do that?
No.
You don't have triple net?
We're not triple. No, it depends. Like, so we're not triple net, but some spaces are, like, especially retail.
Yeah, we have triple net, dude. And then, luckily it's crazy. But yeah, so to your point, when we're competing on this macro scale, and I'm talking like, Brittany, again, she's in San Antonio. When I'm talking to anybody who's in Texas and I mention our rent, they're like, what the fuck, dude? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah, because 7,000 square feet in a place where a lot of people who moved to Denver have come from, i.e. Midwest and the South, dude, for 7,000 square feet, they're getting like, they're in for like $4 or $5 grand a month. And they're charging $180 to $200 a month. So we have I don't know if it's a unique problem because I've only operated this gym in this city, but dude, Denver people are really hard to sell shit to because we have to compete. And I laugh at like the Yard and these big companies that come in and are like, I hope they don't sue me for that one, but bring it, motherfuckers. But anyway, it's a nice gym. Anyway, they're probably successful, but it's like, dude, these companies will come in, or these people will come in, they'll do their demographic testing and they'll realize, oh, the average household income in Denver is $130,000 a year. So these people you don't understand, bro. You're competing as a fitness institution with the mountains, the Rocky fucking mountains, dude. People here want to be outside. They want to mountain bike. They want to ski and snowboard. They want to do all of that shit. So if you come in on a Saturday and I tell you, yeah, dude, between the two gyms, I think we're at like 260, 200, I don't know, something like that. It's like 250 plus members. There's 8 people on a Saturday morning year round. And you're like, dude, what the fuck happened?
Crazy.
Bro, because they're all in the mountains. So it's like, that's another thing that I didn't figure out until I was already like 4 or 5 years into this shit. We had like over 100 people at just DBC. And I was kind of like, damn, dude, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, popping. Like Saturday, forget it. And as more people moved into the city, it just became more prohibitive to get to the mountains. So like you got to leave at like 5 or 6 a.m. like year round to get to the mountains within a couple hours if you want to go to Breckenridge or like Vail, and that's kind of changed how people have organized their Saturday. So it used to be people would come in, train, go to the mountains like in the afternoon. They don't do that anymore, dude. They're skipping their training on Saturday altogether and they're leaving at 5, 6, 7 a.m. to go to the mountains. So that's something that I think, it's definitely like intangible, but none of that shit matters because we still have to compete with these other gyms in Texas, Florida, like, fucking Indiana, like whatever other place in the Midwest or the South you have. We have to compete against those people and we have to charge close to their prices when we really should be charging what we need to charge at least $225 for our unlimited membership. And like to really do well and like ball, we'd have to be at $250. And by balling, I don't mean me balling. I mean balling like the gym is chilling, making money, putting it in the bank, able to spend it on new equipment, stuff like that. So that's where we need to be, man. And competing nationally with places that are just so much cheaper, but able to charge the same amount of money is a killer. It's really hard.
Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah, I never even thought about this idea of like Denver is such an active area with a lot of active people and how a lot of their fitness doesn't involve being inside a space. Like here, we have like surfers and people who like to rock climb and stuff, but like it's mostly, the people who are going to the gym, doing Pilates, doing yoga, doing, powerlifting, weightlifting, whatever it is, CrossFit, group class, it's indoors. Mm-hmm. And so we're competing with gyms, not natural resources. Yeah. Which is super interesting. I really wanted to dive into, I know at one point you had a bigger team and you switched from individualization of training to template-based training tracks. Take me through that process and what you found.
Yeah. Pretty sure I've talked to Max about this in person before, but okay. So my coaching my, I guess, ownership philosophy has always been that like gyms, weightlifting, powerlifting gyms are really built on, in order of importance, environment, coaching, programming. And, I think the onset and like the uptick in social media, and I don't fault these gyms for doing this kind of shit, but like pumping out information that they're providing custom programming. Like, dude, I've talked to enough coaches around the country, like, and asked them about it, and I'm pretty sure I've asked Max about it, and it's like, dude, everyone does the same thing. It's not fucking custom and individualized unless you're Matty Rogers. Okay. And honestly, I wouldn't even blame Amy if she's reusing programs from years past because they worked well for Matty, And so, but also Matty Rogers is Matty fucking Rogers, dude. Like, yeah, if you have her, totally, dude, like write an individual program. It's one person. But I think most coaches, from what I can tell, just lay a basic strength, program down, and then they have templates for Olympic stuff that people need to be focused more on, which is like, cool. I'm really good at clean. I suck at everything else. So it's like, okay, I'm above average at clean and I suck at everything else. So it's like, if I were getting coached, I would expect to see an Olympic section on my programming in the beginning, probably, that's like a lot of snatch and a lot of jerk stuff. So, but I don't need individualized programming because there's enough people that suck at enough of these lifts or need improvement at enough of these lifts that we can just reuse the same kind of shit. Because, dude, at the end of the day, if you're doing 4 sets of 3 position snatch to get somebody, or fuck it, let's say they're bad at the power position. Cool. You're like, fine, 4 sets of 3 dip snatch or power position snatch, whatever you want to do. That's probably going to work for the people that are bad at their power position, whether it's like no matter what their name is, And I think that's been really frustrating because we had this team. I mean, I want to say at AO finals one year, we brought 16 or 17 people. And then Detroit in like 2021, if I'm correct on that one, it's like the first nationals we could all get together again. I think we had like 11 or 12 athletes, all women, by the way, 11 or 12 athletes that were there. And I'm standing there and I'm like, damn, bro, I'm going to pat myself on the back because all of these guys are full-time coaches. I'm part-time, and we're chilling here in the 64, arguably the most competitive female weight class. And I'm coaching 2 or 3 lifters in the fucking A session next to like, people like Max and fucking the Everett fan, the Everetts and stuff. And I'm like, damn, I did pretty good. But anyway, long story short, they just like, a lot of these people disband because they got mad at me when they found out it wasn't individualized programming. And I'm like, there is no such thing as individualized programming unless you're paying something like $500 a month, like what Max just said, or maybe people are charging $300 or $350 because it just takes too much time. And frankly, dude, it's not even a negative thing. It's not just that it takes too much time. It's inefficient and useless because, like I said, one program can probably solve a number of different issues. And strength is fucking strength, dude. Squat. You want to like be a better squatter? Squat. You want to be a better puller? Pull. It's not that hard to figure out. And so I think there's this BS that's online that's like everything's individualized. We'll give you this for $20 a month. Dude, bullshit. They're not giving anything that we weren't giving for $20 a month. But now our national team is like, 1 to 3 people. Ironically, both of them are on. Shout out to Adrian and Aaron. They're on our club programming. We have club and competitive programming. They're on our fucking club programming, dude. And like Adrian is an A session lifter, even after she had a knee surgery, like a really big meniscus cleanup. Hopefully this isn't a HIPAA violation, but anyway, a really big, meniscus cleanup. She came back like a year later and still went to nationals this summer and competed. Like I think she snatched like 83 or 85 and then clean and jerked like 110 plus. So you're like, she's on club programming, dude. And it's just like, but they both have incredible attitudes, that's the thing. And so I think what those people emphasized who all took off was that the gym should be about programming, coaching, environment. No, not this gym. And I don't think that's fucking right, dude. If you're in a house of dogs, you're going to be a dog. And if the coach can't fucking handle it, they'll find a new coach and they'll do it together as a pack. So environment, build a house of dogs, have a good coach or a good group of coaches behind it like what we have. And then the programming, they can just get better on any program. Because, dude, honestly, I've been on like Max's programming before. Pretty fucking good, dude. Hard, but I liked it. I've been on that. Cal Strength way back in the day when I was young enough to do it. And then Catalyst, most boring programs ever, but effective. Dude, completely different sets of programming. Different style. They couldn't be any more different, And like, you know what? I got better on all of them. So it's empirical to me that it's not just the programming.
Yeah. I wonder, because I think I'll push back on you a little bit. You actually were doing individualized programming. you just did it in a modular way, right? Like,
Yeah.
if you're
Okay.
like, cause like I see it as like, people might blow it out of proportion, but like, it's so easy to not get better at weightlifting. It's so easy. And
Don't
like,
show up.
well, but even if you show up, I mean,
Yeah.
there's an infinite number of people that are not good at weightlifting and have been not good for decades. And it's like, you could be missing the mark a little bit, do this, do that. You know, it's like you could take somebody and be like, hey, you're really good at squatting. Why are you squatting so hard? Right. Or you're really good at this. Why are you doing that? And it's like, oh, I like it, or this or that. The coach, or coaches get stuck and they don't do certain things. So you can easily get individualization where it's like, it is what you're saying, where it's like, hey, these guys need to do more jerks. So like we put more jerks in and we use that. I think to your point, like a lot of people sell individualization, which is in and of itself undeniably a better thing, right? If you're doing a program and somebody continues to make the program work better for you and solve those problems for you, they're gonna get better results generally, right? But it's almost sold as like a keeping up with the Joneses thing. Like, oh, well, Brittany Rucker offers this, so we also got to offer that. And then this guy offers that, so everyone offers that. Because like you look at it, and it's like every single product just it's like a regression to the mean. Whatever everyone else offers, we have to offer that same thing, because if we don't fit in the marketplace. So no one's offering like, hey, it's a $1 like free program or whatever. It's free programming, and I just coach you and bring whatever program you want, because they don't matter. Because no one else would do that, because everyone else would be like, oh, well, that guy's doing this. I had a guy, leave and go get a Chinese coach, because he's like, well, I think he just, I think they have a different perspective. And it's like, bro, when I asked the Bulgarians, I was like, the greatest weightlifting coach that ever lived, like, what's the program? What's the thing? He's like, well, every program's the same. It's all snatch, clean and jerk and squat. Like, it's just different. People do different. Some people do pulls. Some people do this. But it's funny because like individualization might be more of like a messaging thing to be like, look how much we care about you, right? Because it almost feels like, maybe I'd love to get your opinion on this. Like, it almost feels like now the thing is nothing to do with lifting. It's all to do with image. And it's all about saying, hey, you're part of our team, and our team's any number of these identities you need. It's cool, or it's the best, or we're the rascals, or we're the outcasts. Like pick your flavor of what fits you. That's us. And then pay us money to subscribe to be part of that. Right. And we do weightlifting, that's like a thing we do also. But like, do you feel rejected by your community? Well, we don't. Come join us. It's like, it almost feels like none of it matters anymore. It's just about like the shirt you wear, and then that means something, right?
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm not going to say we partner, but like we do the custom virus singlets like a couple times a year, and just pre-order only. Dude, and like we don't make money off that, because I figure like you can just go do it yourself for the same price. So why the fuck? Anyway, whatever. Maybe I could charge more for it. In any case, we just like, they have to cover the cost of shipping, tax, and like the actual product itself, right? And it's like, dude, people will come in and the first meet they have, boom, Denver Barbell Club, like virus or stuff. Yeah. I love that. But I also noticed that when you used to be program skippers, now it's like gym skippers. And when you have those people, fuck me, dude. It's like, yo, it's like the NFL, dude. Like they have an all new uniform as soon as they arrive on their new fucking program. It's like Train Heroic or like Coach Logic is just like, there's that plug. It's just like, boom, coach just uploaded your new program. They're like, sick. I just got my singlet yesterday before I even started. I'm stoked. And you're like, hey man, we take advantage of that. So I'm very thankful for the people that do that. But like, fuck me, dude. And how fast they tag people like immediately, dude, or change their little Instagram bio. And I'm like,
and it's the first post is always, because we've all been through, the first post is always like, I wish it's something like some dig, like, I wish for years I've been doing this thing wrong. Like no one ever told me to use my legs in the snatch. Like, like, I'm so glad I'm finally where I belong. This is family. 3 months later, it's like another post, like, I've always believed in God, and now I'm super into this team that's really into going to church. 6 months ago, they were like an atheist, pentagrams on their,
on OnlyFans. I've repented, even though anyway, we're not going to get any deeper into that, because everyone knows what
I
we're
got to
talking
keep
about.
us tight. So I think we're gonna have to do another episode at some point, because I do want to get into the dual career stuff in time. But for sake of time today, I want to wrap us up. But
cool.
Joey, I really appreciate having you on. I think this is a banger episode, and we definitely need more time next time to really dig into some more things here. Yeah, that's on me, dude. I have to fly to San Diego in a couple hours. Just a long story, but
Yeah. So yeah, dude, I appreciate you. It's always fun. Me and Max, when I see him in person, we fucking talk for like 2 or 3 hours. So next time we should probably set aside
Come to the gym,
a
dude.
lot more time.
We'll be there.
Dude, we can, oh yeah, I guess we can do the podcast there, huh?
Yeah. Can we do in
Sick,
person?
dude. Cool. Is it okay if I squat like 120 kilos for a single? And are you guys going to kick me out?
I'll kick you out.
Okay, cool.
Kick you
I'll
out.
just do it anyway.